Hi, everybody. I want to thank Val for having me come here and speak to all of you. It sounds like everybody who's up here enjoys their career and has a very varied career. I think that mine is the same in those arenas, but it's also very unique. How many of you have ever seen one of these? Okay, a few handsful of people. This is a standard long cane for people that are blind and visually impaired, and that's how I make my living. I work with people that are totally blind and totally deaf, totally blind and hearing impaired, visually impaired and hearing, visually impaired and deaf. Okay, so I work with people that are blind and visually impaired and deaf-blind. Now you say, oh my goodness, how do you do that? Well, you learn a lot of skills. One of the skills that I teach people is how to use one of these sticks. When people have low vision and don't see well, they need something to protect them. So my day is very varied, and I could go from 8 o'clock teaching a Braille lesson to a 20-year-old, then move on to a 17-year-old at 10 o'clock who's going to college and needs to know how to make their computer talk to them so that they can complete college. And then at 1 o'clock, I would go to a 70-year-old person who wants to learn how to use one of these canes and go out and cross the street to get their mail. And then 2 hours later, go to another person that wants to learn how to cook for their family, but because of their visual impairment, they're afraid of cooking. So the skills are extremely varied. The day is never bored. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I can honestly say I've never had one boring day in my life. The skills, the education that you need for this is that you can get a bachelor's degree level, or you can get a master's degree level, or a doctorate degree level, if you choose. There are several aspects within this field. In general, you're called a rehabilitation teacher for the blind, but the degrees within that skill are certification in deaf-blindness, teacher of the visually impaired, vision rehabilitation therapist, and orientation and mobility specialist. You can pick and choose any of those. So if you only like to you'd want to be inside and teach Braille and adaptive computer skills, then you'd want to be a vision rehabilitation therapist. If you like the outside aspects and would like to teach safe travel methods to people that are blind and visually impaired, then you'd want to be an orientation and mobility specialist. And if you, of course, want to communicate with people that are deaf and blind, then you would be a deaf-blind specialist. You need to learn Braille, you need to learn sign language, you need to learn how to use one of these. Much of the training is done under blindfold itself. So most of my college career was spent under blindfold so that you can have empathy as well as develop the skills that you need to teach. How I got into this was my fascination in Braille. My sister brought home a Braille card, and I was just fascinated that people could read with their fingers. And that's what started it for me and has given me my entire life's work. You can pick and choose your setting. It's wonderful, actually. You can work with children, you can work with adults, you can work with local blind associations, you can be self-employed, you can work for the government, you can work for school districts and intermediate units. So you can pretty much do it the way you want to. I was self-employed for 20 years doing it and became a workaholic and had no life doing it, and so now I work for the government, and as we all know, don't go there, you guys, don't go there. Now I work my 8 hours a day, and that is it. So you do have many, many choices. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's about it.